Hello students. So welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to study about the gymnosperms. You know very well, gymnosperms are also known as phanerogames and they are spermatophytes. It means the seeds will be produced. They are going to produce the seed. But main thing is this, ki their seeds will not be covered. So we will say seeds are naked. It means they are not covered by the ovary wall. They are not covered by the ovary wall. Is it clear? Now, main thing is this ki in gymnosperms, you will not find herbs. In this, herbs are absent and only shrubs and trees are present. Shrubs will be there and trees will be there. And tallest tree which is present, that is known as sequoia, which is the tallest tree. Is it clear? So tallest tree of the entire plant kingdom is present in the gymnosperm. Okay, now we have to study the general characteristic of the gymnosperm. To make you study that general characteristic, we will take a case study of the Cycas and Pinus. Clear? Now see. Now see, we are taking a case study of Cycas and Pinus. And first of all, you know, gymnosperms are heterosporous. Let me first write that they are heterosporous. You should know this term. Heterosporous, we have already studied that they means they will produce two different type of spores. So right now we are discussing about their body, which is 2N main body, because the main body is 2N, which is known as sporophyte body. And sporophyte body means they will have root, stem and leaf. Okay. So now see, some modification is there in that. If you see in the cycas, the roots are normal taproot will be there. But apart from normal taproot, they are having one special coralloid roots are also there. And coralloid roots will have an association with cyanobacteria, means blue-green algae. Same with the pinus, what we are finding, they are having normal taproot system, and apart from taproot, they are having mycorrhizal root. And mycorrhizal root means they are having association with the fungus association. Clear? If we see the stem, we find that the cycas stem is unbranched. But in case of the pinus, the stem is branched. Stem is branched. Another example, let me just add here. This is an example, okay, please. This is Cedrus, which is given in your NCERT. Cedrus is also the one which is having the branched stem. So I hope you are able to understand it, okay? Just let me do the correction. Okay, fine. So Cedrus is the one. Now, if we see the leaf, it is having, cycas is having pinnately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf. See, there are two type of leaves are there, simple leaf and compound leaf. Simple leaf will be present in the pinus and the compound leaves are present in the cycas. What are these difference between these two types of leaf? You will be studying in the morphology. So here pinus is having simple leaf which is needle-like. Leaves will show the xerophytic adaptations because these plants have to find, they are present in the extreme conditions. So leaf will show thick cuticle. I'm writing in both way, means it is applicable to both sides. Thick cuticle, and they will have sunken stomata. They will have sunken stomata. Is it clear? So this is the difference with respect to the vegetative character, means root modification, how is the stem and how is the leaf of the cycas and pinus. Two case studies we are discussing. Now we are focusing with the heterospory nature. Now one thing we know very well, ki heterospory is there, then microsporophyll will have microsporangia. Clear beta? And microsporangia will produce, I'm trying to give you flow chart, please learn it properly. Microsporangia will produce microspore. There is another term for the microspore, we use word pollen grain. Pollen grain. And the microspore will develop into male gametophyte. Male gametophyte. And here also we will say male gametophyte as pollen grain only. And male gametophyte has male gamete. Clear beta? Now see megasporophyll has megasporangia. And megasporangia is known as ovule here. You try to understand the diagram this way. Just imagine this is a green leaf. Okay, this is a green leaf. This is your megasporophyll. Okay, this is your megasporophyll in which your ovule is born. So this is your megasporangia. Means ovule. So this is the blue I have drawn with the ovule. Clear? Now let me explain you once here. See carefully. This is the one stalk of the ovule and these are the integuments of the ovule. Okay. At the tip area, this area is open, so this is known as micropyle. This is known as chaliza. And this is known as funicle. So, and these are this blue color. This one is the integument. The integument is present all around, but not in the micropyle. Inside it, you are finding this is the mass of the tissues, which is known as nucellus. So this nucellus is present here. Okay. So this is nucellus. So this is the structure of the ovule. Now one cell of nucellus, let me draw this, take it. Let us assume this is one cell. Okay, but I take this. Let us assume this is one cell of nucellus. So I'm just writing it here. You can understand. This one cell of nucellus is going to behave as a megaspore mother cell. So let me write the full form. This is known as megaspore mother cell. And this megaspore mother cell will undergo meiosis. Because you know very well, in the plant, sporic meiosis is done to produce megaspore. Linear tetrad they will make. So this is your linear megaspore they are making. Linear megaspore tetrad we will call it. So I hope you are able to understand that megasporangia will produce megaspore. So megasporangia will produce megaspore. This much is clear, beta. Now, this megaspore, out of this, what will happen? Upper three will degenerate, only one will be functional. So we will take now only one functional megaspore. So let me just draw it this way. You can understand this is the 4 megaspores. Okay, nucleus is there. So out of which upper three will degenerate and only lower will be functional. So this is the functional megaspore. So functional megaspore has to develop into the female gametophyte. The functional megaspore will develop into female gametophyte. Will develop into female gametophyte. Clear beta? Up till here is it clear? Now let me explain you further. Wait. Let us assume the same structure inside the ovule so that learning becomes easy for you. So this is your ovule. Okay, we are drawing this ovule. And this is your linear tetrad. This is the linear tetrad in which upper three were degenerating, only lower is functional. Okay, beta, and this is a mass of the tissue, nucellus is present. So integument is 2n, nucellus ploidy will also be 2n. Now only one functional megaspore, that is this last one, has to develop into the female gametophyte. This last one, okay, but this one is to develop into the female gametophyte. Now see the diagram change. So I will do one thing. I will use this yellow color for the nucellus, which is only in the side now. Nucellus is on the side. And now if you see, I'm using the blue color, carefully check it. This is my now female gametophyte is developing, which is very much multicellular. And you know, ploidy of the female gametophyte will be N. It will be haploid in nature, okay? So this is haploid nature, female gametophyte is developing. And inside this female gametophyte will have sex organs. So sex organs are archegonia. So let me draw this archegonia with the this is venter and neck. So let me draw only two archegonia, though it can have two to many archegonia will be there. So this gap is now filled with the nucellus, female gametophyte. So this archegonia is having in the center, I'm just putting this dot as an egg. Okay, so this is your yellow color, is just imagine this yellow color, please try to understand. This is your nucellus. Okay, beta, this yellow color is your nucellus. The ploidy of the nucellus will be 2n. Let me write it. This is nucellus. So ploidy will be 2n. This is the female gametophyte, blue color. Female gametophyte. And female gametophyte, you know very well, ploidy will be N. Female gametophyte ploidy is N. In case of gymnosperm, female gametophyte is known as endosperm. Female gametophyte is known as endosperm. Very important, your PMT question. What is a ploidy of endosperm in gymnosperm? Question is, let me just write for you. If they ask, what is a ploidy of endosperm in gymnosperm? So your answer will go N. It is haploid in nature. So what answer you will give? It is haploid. Clear? Understood why? Because endosperm is female gametophyte. And female gametophyte has archegonia. So this is the one, archegonia is present in the female gametophyte, and archegonia has egg. Archegonia has egg. Up till here, I hope the concept is clear to you. Let me once again just draw the mind map for you so that it will become easy for you. To again match the comparison, we will say megasporophyll has megasporangia, means ovule. Okay, beta. And we will say ovule, megasporangia will produce megaspore. Megaspore will develop into female gametophyte. And female gametophyte is known as, let us write here, it is known as endosperm. And female gametophyte has archegonia. And archegonia has egg. So I hope this comparison will help you to learn properly. Now let me explain further. Now see here, unlike the bryophyte and pteridophyte, in which the gametophyte was having independent existence, in gymnosperm independent existence is not there. Okay, and pollen grains are the carrier of the male gamete. Pollen grains are carrier of male gamete. And if you remember, in bryophyte and pteridophyte, the male gamete were transferred by the water, but gymnosperm use air. So pollen grain are dispersed by air. So they are dispersed by air, okay? So when I'm saying dispersed by air, it means they show anemophily. And you know very well, ovule is not covered by the ovary wall. So they will show direct pollination. Please, it is very important. They show direct pollination. Direct pollination means pollen grain can directly land here. You can understand the diagram this way. You try to understand it here. Okay, let me just see. This is the pollen grain which can directly land. Now to receive the pollen grain, this nucellus, see the board carefully, this nucellus will make a beak-like structure. This is nucellar beak. It's only a diagrammatic to make you learn. It is a nucellar beak. To receive the pollen grain. And let us assume these are the pollen grains which are coming here. So these are the pollen grains. Okay, beta. Now after this, what will happen? This pollen grain will enter inside. So inside this is an area where the pollen will germinate. So this area where pollen will germinate, this is known as pollen chamber. So this is known as pollen chamber where pollen will germinate. So this is pollen chamber. Now how the pollen will germinate? See here, it will come inside and it will make this small pollen tube inside which male gamete will be there. So just let me draw the diagram here. You try to understand. See, this is the way, let us assume this is archegonia is present here. This is two archegonia there. Okay. And this is your nucellar beak. This was nucellar beak-like structure. The pollen grain is germinating to form the male gamete here. And if you see the male gamete here, we are finding that the male gamete, especially in Cycas, it is multiciliate. It is multiciliate with top-shaped male gamete. Multiciliate, and it is like a top. Okay, you play with the top, no? That top like. So in case of Cycas, this is a male gamete which I am drawing it. It is multiciliate. Is it clear? And after that, fertilization will be done. After fertilization, this is an egg here. So fertilization will be done. There is no BCC. There is no NCC here. Only egg is there. And fusion will lead to the formation of the zygote. The syngamy will be there. And after syngamy, zygote formation will be there. And zygote will develop into the embryo. And when these changes are going on, ovule is changing into the seed. Ovule changes into seed. But seeds are naked because there is no ovary wall. So I hope this explanation topic might be easy for you. This is very easy. Okay, in the next video, we'll be discussing the comparison of the gymnosperms with the angiosperms. So I hope this topic is clear. Thanks for watching.